Welcome. For this video we're going to create a bibliographic organizer, which I have right here, and this is very useful for saving and organizing primary sources for classroom instruction use or for a project if you're a student. So this is our bibliographic organizer, and we have an example here where we have a thumbnail image, the document title, author, creator, date, and the reproduction number, digital ID, or URL. And that is a permanent URL, meaning that that URL is always going to be there. So rather than copying and pasting out of the address bar, those URLs are going to stay the same, and no matter what, anytime you go back to them, it'll reproduce the web page with your primary source on it. So let's go ahead, skip over here to the internet. I'll show you really quickly how to get to this bibliographic organizer. I'm going to go to Waynesburg, tps.waynesburg.edu up here. Click on the Southwestern PA partner. It will bring up this page. I'm going to go to resources over here on the right. And it's the third one down here, bibliographic organizer. So go ahead and click on that, and it will bring up the next page asking you to download it here, which I already have it downloaded right here. Okay, so let's first go to the Library of Congress homepage, which has a lot on it here. I'll point out a few different things. Beta.gov up in the corner has a lot of legislative information, very current information. We have all these different collections here in the middle, from American Memory to veteran stories to maps and manuscripts. Featured webcasts, those are constantly changing. And then down here in the Explore and Discover section, we have Today in History, which is going to give you something interesting that happened today in history, places in the news, as well as those other sections. But primarily we're going to be working up here in these collection highlights, and this general search is going to search all of those collections. So let's go ahead and search the entire website for something pretty general for our purposes. Let's look up George Washington. And our results here are going to bring up over 138,000. You can refine them over here on the left. Lots of different formats, whether it be a photograph, a book, a web page, audio, a map. You can refine it by dates. And then also down here you can, let's just look at the prints and photographs. So let's find a picture of George Washington. And we get a lot here. Let's go ahead and let's take this one on his horse. Save this picture of George Washington on his horse. Say we want to use this for classroom instruction. And in order to find it again quickly, you want to save it in our bibliographic organizer. So let's go ahead and quickly fill out the top here. A lesson on George Washington, developed by your name and the date. So let's first get the thumbnail image. Back to the web page here. Here's your image. You're just going to right click on that, and you're going to copy the image and go back in here and paste that image. I like to put a little space on that and maybe center it just to make it look nice. And next we're going to look for the document title, author, creator, and date. And again, this is all for bibliographic information. It's always good to cite your sources, and this is providing your readers or users with accurate information as to where your primary sources came from. We'll come back and format this at the end, but for now that looks good enough. And let's see, what else do we still need there? The creator, which is kind of already included in that date created and published section. So let's go ahead down and find this bookmark this record part right here. And we're going to highlight that. That is again our permanent URL. And anytime that we click on that, It's going to bring us right back to this source. Save it in our bibliographic organizer, and we can test that out. Control click in a Word document, and it'll bring us right back here. Now again, this address bar up at the top, if you just copy and paste that, there's no guarantee that that will bring you back to this page exactly. You have to come down here and and find that permanent URL. That's going to bring you back to this page every time. So we go back here. There we have it. There's our bibliographic organizer. Simple as that. We have our thumbnail image to remind us what the primary source looks like, as well as the title, the date it was created, the publisher, and where it was published, and the permanent URL. You can provide as much information in that document title, author, create, date title column as much as you want. That's basically just for your readers to go back and look through. So you did a lesson and you used all these different primary sources. You're going to want to cite those so people know that it comes from a credible source, and you know that you're not using those illegally in any way. So there you have it. That's how we save primary sources in a bibliographic organizer for future reference and bibliographic reference. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful.